All right, game picks here.
Yeah.
My first one that I'm going to start us off with, I think this one's a layup. And I'm really pissed off with myself last week for not taking a similar
Why would
vote.
you say something like that for yourself, brother? I think this is a layup. You have not dealt with the gods enough. This is a lay. Why would you mush yourself?
Last week, all right, it's a good point. It's a good point. Last week, I'm expressing confidence. The weeks that I've expressed confidence, they've hit. Last week, I wish I took Georgia to cover against Ole Miss, and I didn't. -10 against Tennessee is way too low of a number for how bad Tennessee looked against Missouri. Give me Georgia laying the 10. They are absolutely going to score and beat them by more than 10 points.
Better team with the better quarterback is always a good plan. And I am going with the same plan here. Washington getting 2.5. I didn't even realize we both picked the game from the previews, but why not? Washington getting 2.5 versus Oregon State. Okay.
It's not bad. It's not bad. A little risky.
Cool with it.
A little risky. A little risky. You keep going with these ones that are.
Lose.
You never know. You never know. My second one, I went away from it last week, and my Lord and Savior Tony Soprano, he was against me.
Bits now. You're stealing bits now. Let me check the book and see if Tony S is in here. Nope.
So are you going to write that down? Are you going to write that down?
No, I don't see Tony Soprano.
I went against Rutgers.
Yeah.
Last week.
There's Stetson Bennett.
They didn't have a favorable line, but this week they do. They're playing Penn State plus 20.5. Penn State can't score in it this much. They can't score enough to beat them by 20.5 points. They just can't. Rutgers' defense is pretty good. And I understand that Iowa hung 20 on them and they beat them by that much last week. But Rutgers, good football team, it's going to bounce back and they're going to win or they're going to lose by at least less than 20.
Interesting that you brought up the Iowa game. Who do you think has a better defense, Iowa or Rutgers?
Iowa does.
Oh, okay. Well, Iowa got 31 hung on them by Penn State.
Different game, brother. What happened against Ohio State?
I hate this. I hate this pick. I hate this pick. I might actually take it in my real life. My next bet. Why not? Why couldn't I?
You're a piece of garbage. You're still my pick.
Okay, fine,
you mush me. You mush me every time you did.
No, I don't mush anything.
You did this with the Kansas pick last week, you piece of garbage. Don't touch my bets. Place your own bets
all the time. You touch my bets all the time.
I don't touch any bets.
You text me that I'm costing you money.
I have taken your bets because I've placed them on Sunday night, and then we've come in here and you've put them into the dock, and then I've gotten mad at you for placing my bets after I've already placed them. You've done it like 3 times. It's only happened a couple of times, but you've mushed me every single time. You have already placed the same bet that I have.
I'd leave that.
You are an unlucky bettor. Hence the 45%.
I lost it. I lost. I don't know. I had a prop. I lost it. It was ready. I had the world's smallest violin. I was ready to play for you.
What's your second pick?
Second pick, Tulane giving 9 to FAU.
I took this one in real life.
Pretty simple.
I'll show you the bet slip. I'll show you my bets.
It's not that I don't believe you, brother. It's not that I don't believe you. But now I'm going to have to also take this in real life.
Wait, you don't take these in real life?
Some I do. Some I talk myself out of.
Oh, you're a coward. You're an unbelievable coward. Oh, you stink. My last one's Mississippi State -13.5 versus Southern Miss. Look, they're playing this is a bye game.
Hedge yourself. Hedge yourself on that bet you took on Tulane.
This is an easy. I'll edge myself. This is an easy win against a really bad G5 program in Southern Miss.
Top to bottom. Bad games, bad break. This is rough.
Oh God. This isn't a bad show. We've had much worse. Mississippi State.
That's very true.
Mississippi State playing Southern Miss. This is supposed to be an easy win for them. Only 13.5 points is not much for them to cover. And I think it is worth to acknowledge a lot of times when a head coach is fired, teams pick themselves up off the mat. This is an opportunity for them to win by 14 plus.
Okay. All right. I'm going in the opposite direction. Indiana giving 4 to Michigan State.
I have this one too. I'm going to send it to you right now.
It's a good, I mean, look, it's a favorable line. Michigan State's a really bad team. They're focused on finding their next head coach. They're not locked in. Indiana put up what they didn't.
It's
they
the scandal
duel with
special. You stole my
Villanova?
bid. You stole my bets.
It's
I
not
wrote
the
this down on the doc and I took it out.
What am I supposed to? What am I supposed to care?
Yeah, it's a scandal
I
special. You stole
don't.
my bet.
Bet against Michigan State is a good plan. Same as betting against the Giants or betting against the Falcons. It's always a good plan.
That's it for our bets this week.
Stop
Couple. What?
You're a jinx. You're a notorious
I'm a good bettor.
Jinx.
I'm a good bettor. Hence the 57%. That means I'm winning. That means I'm in the positive. I'm up 100% on my original initial deposit. I just haven't gone up in the past 4 weeks. That's nice. Those are two.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah, I've stayed stagnant at that same number.
Turned 5 into 10. I'm proud of you.
You're a piece of garbage. You can't even deposit $5. What are you talking about, asshole? All right, other thoughts from the weekend or from the week. The first one. So the Bahamas Bowl, the stadium's under construction, and they had to relocate it. They relocated it to, of all places, to Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, I really wish that they relocated the Bahamas Bowl and kept the name as the Bahamas Bowl, and this was played in like Dublin, Ohio, in a high school stadium.
Bowls are a sickness. They're just a sickness and plague and a disease, but we can't stop partaking.
I have to admit that the Bahamas Bowl, whoever was in charge of handling this, people are making fun of it, but they totally understood the mission here. They totally understood the bit. They realized we should go find a sponsor that is the most hilarious, obnoxious sponsor that we could possibly find. They didn't go and get AutoZone or I don't know what's like another like mid-tier brand that would make sense on this like
Meineke Tires
Bowl, like something like that. They went and added Famous Toastery as the official sponsor of the bowl. Now, if you're wondering what the hell is that, it's because it's a local diner chain in North Carolina that also has an inactive social media account on Twitter that has not posted since 2019. That's what we're currently dealing with here. So the hilarity of this whole circumstance that they just picked the stupidest name. Honestly, you could have told me that this was made up and I would have believed you, that this is a fake brand that has been out of business for 5 years, and I would have believed you.
This is fake. This is a money laundering operation. And what do you get from this bowl? Like, remember Burke said he played in the Quick Lane Bowl or whatever it was in Detroit, and it sounded awful because he's like, I was in Detroit on Christmas, away from my family in a casino, and I'm like, and he's like, yeah, I got a backpack and a watch. And I'm like, all right, well, you got a backpack and a watch. What do you get from the Great Toastery Bowl? What's the accommodation? What is
that?
What is
something I need to see?
Juice? Are you just getting free apps?
Could you imagine that? So like I forget which brand it is. There's one of the brands that does the thing where you get the gift cards and you get to go on the shopping spree and they take you around to the department store and they let you go buy stuff. Could you imagine that they're like, all right, everybody, we're going to give everybody their bowl gifts, and they just pull up to Famous Toastery and everyone gets a free side with their meal. Like that's the extent of what they get for playing in this god awful monstrosity of a bowl game.
I think if that were to happen and we were on the team, then you know what? Yeah,
I'd be happy.
I think you would have been happy. I would have said, hey, Joe, meet me in the parking lot, get a hammer or just the fork, punch it right through my hand. I'll Gardner Minshew it. I am not partaking. Send me home, coach.
I think I would have probably seen if we could have like demolished one of the bathrooms or something like that, just like purposefully clogged one of the toilets and then just left. Like I think that's the
our team was capable of it. Our team took down elevators. Our team destroyed bathrooms in the summer.
Yeah,
we were capable of just about anything. Really, outside of the football field, that group of men had a real opportunity for change or destruction. It's whatever it was. It was basically, God, this is going to be a reference, Joe. And I know you're a Rick and Morty guy, right?
Yeah, I am.
We were the planet full of the dudes. And that's what we did. We were out in the field, and we just punched each other. That's what it was.
I don't think there was a single team in college football that did a better job of showing up hungover for practice than we did.
The potential was there. We did not max it out. And if we showed up to the Great Toastery, it would have been an issue.
Man, we would have gotten on the bus and we would have been like,
could you imagine Marv on the bus? Could you imagine what he would have said?
Oh my God. All right, who took one of the chairs with them, guys? Where's the chair? Who took one of the chairs? And it's not even like trying to steal it kind of thing.
He's sitting on it in the aisle in the bus. Like, where'd you get
What's
that?
What's up? You're 2 hours away at the hotel. What are you doing?
AJ Beebalt's still there. He's trying to load in more.
Someone God, my thing's pulling it.
Nice. Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Someone's wearing one of the aprons that the guy behind the counter was.
Dude,
where'd you get that?
I'd be sick to my stomach at the Great Toastery. And I think the Cheez-It Bowl, like if I had to sit in that stupid room and I had to sleep in that orange and red, I'd still be sick. Like there are gimmicks that you just don't go with. The Mayo Bowl, they had Mike Loxley sitting underneath that last year. I couldn't believe it. I'm saying, this is how much did we get paid for this bowl? How much was the bowl and how much is the bonus? Because it has to be girthy, or else I'm not getting this Mayo celebration. Bowls suck.
I'm wondering now what's like their famous thing at the famous toastery. I'm just really quickly looking through it closes at 3 p.m. What kind of a shitty diner closes at 3 p.m.?
Like if you go to the Cotton Bowl, you have like these custom, Nike Techs, the full jumpsuit, and they look sweet. You go, you go to some of the bigger bowls. It's like, all right, you get the shirts, you get everything, the hat. The Great Toastery does not have any swag for the team. There's none.
You get handed a backpack and you're all excited thinking like, oh, there's going to be a Bose speaker in here. There's going to be some AirPods in here. And it's just the crummiest hat that says Famous Toastery on it. Not even bowl, just Famous Toastery.
Yeah, it's not even selectively marketed for football. It's just from their surplus because they thought they were going into merch. And then they realize they're better at just being a breakfast chain.
Here's what's more depressing, Sean.
Okay.
They have advertised on their website in the top right corner that they are one of the top 500 fast food chains per entrepreneur.com. 500. That's an accomplishment. That's what we're hanging our hat on there is 500. I'm trying to find some Yelp reviews
off the top of my head. I can't give you 500 off the top of my head.
I'm trying to read some of these Yelp reviews. Hold on one second.
You shouldn't be able to have a bowl unless you're in the top 200.
Okay, here's a 1-star from Regina. Very slow service and cold French fries made for a disappointing experience. After a long day of traveling, my husband and I arrived at Twin Peaks about 7:45 p.m. and were seated promptly. And I was just complaining about it being slow.
Boo-hoo, Regina.
Yeah, everyone's complaining about it being slow. Sat there for 15 minutes while 3 waitresses stood at the front desk doing nothing.
45 minutes late. That'd be awesome. Well, we just like to take our time here a little bit. The Great Toastery, it's about sitting down at the table with the family. We'll kick off the game. Don't worry. We'll kick it off. But we want to make sure we got everything right for you. This is what the Great Toastery does.
Apparently, the complaint is that there's a lot of attitude from the people who work there.
You want it faster?
20 minutes
fuck
later,
you.
No hi, no I'll be right there with you. Hell, not even a fuck you. Is what this person wrote down.
Oh, that's great. I like that.
And then the response, thank you for stopping by. We care a lot about providing amazing service. Please share your email and phone number with us. Okay.
Put me
All
on
right,
on their list. Put me on their
yeah.
list.
All right, last thing I want to get to, we're going to skip the Jimbo thing. I want to talk about the Polar Express that was on in the locker room at halftime during the Arkansas game. Now they got stomped out by Auburn. Sam Pittman somehow still the head coach, and there's a corner of the locker room where on one of the TVs, the Polar Express was popping off, and the guys were just really locked in on it. Now I tweeted this out. I ended up deleting it because I thought it was too stupid, and I double checked. It turns out that this was not true because I looked at the roster, but you could have fooled me, and you could have told me that was the specialist corner of the locker room, and I would have believed you. Because the amount of times during halftime we were doing stupid shit we weren't supposed to be doing when we were down big.
Were.
Dude, do you know how many times we just grabbed as many of the protein bars as we could and the Gatorades, and we were just dicking around? We'd have one player who has a sports book pulled up. Do you know how many times that happened in our career?
Joe, I know what you specialists did. I actually had to forfeit Powerades and my Gatorade whey protein bars and whatever I had. I had to because I was in the mix. And I know this was some of the dumb shit that you were doing, watching Fortnite emote memes with the kickers at half. Watching the Polar Express in the slapdick corner is on brand for you. That is what you would do. You would not even pay attention to the game plan. You have no involvement except Polar Express is on the TV. It's warm and I'm sitting. I'm going to watch. That is a Joe DeLeone locker room move.
Sometimes you just need to take a little bit off, okay? Sometimes you got to just, remove yourself from the game.
Polar Express, they knew what they were doing.
Is a shitty movie.
I'll tell you what, Arkansas was, I think it's shitty also.
Yeah, it's a bad movie.
The Arkansas players were hilarious. It was hilarious that there were so many of them huddled up watching the Polar Express because they knew it was funny. And I don't know if they turned it on, but they knew that if they walked in or somebody just hit the remote or whatever and Polar Express came on, it would be funny as hell to get a quick video of everybody watching it. It's just the optics. It's you can't write a skit that you can't write that being that funny because it's just something that a dumb football player would do. And it's something that came out of your brain. Whoever turned that on, because Pittman said that the athlete came to him and said, he just said it was a mistake, which I appreciate Pittman because I think he has a sense of humor about the whole thing. How could you not? It is bombastically funny to walk in, to even see a video. Could you imagine being Sam Pittman? You lost, you're at home, and your wife shows you a video on her iPad on your couch, and it's
no.
You got 6 players.
Wait. We all know the deadpan look that he has on his face oftentimes at pressers. I can only picture Sam Pittman. Every coach does this. They come barreling into the locker room because they had to do like a halftime interview or something like that. They come barreling in, and they're usually in the middle of talking as they're coming in. All right, offense over here, defense over here, and they're saying something. He's going through the halftime adjustments. Guys, we're not picking up X, Y, and Z. And then in the middle, he just stops because he looks up, and in the corner, the Polar Express is playing, and a bunch of children are cheering on the TV, animated children, while at the North Pole. And mid-sentence, you can't find the words. Sam Pittman can't find the words to articulate. He's just standing there in the tightest shirt possible. It doesn't fit him. And he's just... I turn around and walk out. And I know
as a
that
coach, you can't even touch that in the
it.
moment. You can't even touch that situation in the moment as a coach, or else you're going to hit a kid. That's the problem. Because I know if I was a coach, I would say, I can't deal with this. I'm fighting for my life and my job. And I come in, and I don't know if they're a walk-on scholarships specialist. Doesn't matter. Whoever they are on my team are watching the Polar Express. And I'm trying to get a blitz lined up to get Auburn's quarterback down on the ground for the first time all game. I walk in and see that. You can't confront them in that moment.
The game's over.
Because if you ask a question, there's no answer. There's no possible answer that a student athlete that could give me where I wouldn't charge at them afterwards. Could you imagine asking, what is that? And then they say, "Oh, Polar
Why
Express.
Is that on?
I'm after you. Why is it on? It was just on. Turn it off. I'm after you." There's no scenario where I don't go charging after a player.
you're that. I'm so glad you're not. You've expressed before on the show that like why you're not like an offensive line coach at the local high school. I'm glad that you're not because you'd be that guy that those guys that keep getting caught on camera punching kids.
No. A high school player, never. But if I were to see somebody that's currently getting college educated pulling something like that, to see his friend recording it, I would. Ray Romano has this bit where he says he was dropping his daughter off at college, right? And he has 2 sons with him. And the whole family's there, and the wife is all upset. And it was drop-off day. And they're getting her all situated, and the wife's crying, the daughter's crying, and Ray's got kind of some emotions going. And he turns around, and one of the sons has a traffic cone on his head, and the other is looking down in the traffic cone. And he says, I don't know who was stupider. I don't know if it was the one with the traffic cone on his head or the one looking down. In that situation, I don't know who's stupider. The one filming everybody watching Polar Express or the guys just sitting there watching and enjoying.
We're the one who put it on.
Can tell me who's stupider. And I'd be at my breaking point. There wouldn't be a marker left. The whiteboard would be destroyed. And there would just be unbridled rage that you couldn't replicate. Because there's stupid college kids costing you millions of dollars.